Welcome back, everybody. It's another lesson from Francisco out here in sunny Hawaii. So this is a continuation of the health. This is important. That's why because we're getting taken out by our health. It's like, yeah, they got a hand in it, but we're making the decisions to eat these things. As long as we keep buying these foods, we're going to keep putting on the market and keep pulling the ones we want. And also, when we do separate, we need to know what we need to grow. And Dr. Sebi, other pioneers, Minister Enqi, are letting us know what you need to buy, what seeds you need to get, what different types you want to get. We're with the Creator, right? Right? So we got to get creative food. We can't get the hibernized man-made stuff. We got to get what's left that was from the Creator. Get back into it.
Nitrogen is a poison, always is a poison, poison everywhere. The guy that discovered nitrogen called it dead air when he discovered it. Even the earth doesn't like nitrogen. Okay, no one likes nitrogen. Okay, so we got to get that, we got to get on the side of nature. Start listening to nature. Nature doesn't like nitrogen. All right, that's why there's lightning. Every single lightning you see is breaking up nitrogen in the air. That's what lightning's job is, to break up nitrogen molecules. When lightning breaks up the nitrogen molecules, the nitrogen recombines with oxygen and creates nitrates, nitrites, nitrogen oxides, etc. that living systems can use for growth and discard safely. Because whenever nitrogen is bonded to oxygen, it's safe. It's not going to create ammonia. All right? You can use it and get rid of it, discard it. So we got to know that. And the air is 80% nitrogen, which already puts us at a bad disposition. So even with no meat, we're already overloaded with nitrogen because we're breathing it in. So you're already getting way more nitrogen than your body needs. We can synthesize enough protein with just the nitrogen from the air.
Is that from the beginning, was that the way the atmosphere was?
No, our atmosphere changes. It's becoming more nitrogen based as we go along because there's a such thing called terraforming, and that's where an organism changes its environment to become more conducive for it. So we have to study what white folks are doing to this environment because the differences in our biology is what they are maximizing on. So they're changing the atmosphere to suit them, not to suit us. This is why, another reason why I be on us so much, stop listening to white folks. We talking about, like we listen to like all these black folks. Al Gore said, you know, the hole in the ozone layer. So what? What's wrong with that? Hole in the ozone layer lets more sun in, more vitamin D. So if you folks in the northern regions that's outside the equator can get some UVB and UVC because there'll be a bigger hole in the ionosphere which will let more UVB, UVC through. That's only a problem for people that don't have melanin and it's going to be cooking they behind. I'm cool on more green whatever coming through. Send it on down. We need it. See? But we confused because we listen to white folks. White folks, that sun is killing them. They want to patch that up. That's what the whole chemtrails is for. Alright? We missing the boat. We think that chemtrails is about them putting something in the air that's going to float all the way down on top of us. We just, sometimes common sense is just not there. They putting it all in the food. They got us going to get, look, every package of meat in the store, the FDA has approved rat shit to be in it. Every single package.
Alright, you guys, I hope you guys are sucking this in because I sat and watched countless hours of this man's work. But you never heard of many of these things, if I'm not mistaken. Did you know that all your meat that you eat every fucking day has got rat shit in it? Oh, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop there. And then after they come in and find all the rat shit, they wash it off with ammonia and all this different shit. Clean it with ammonia and give it to you. And the difference between white or so-called white recessive people, people who have failed melanin, sulfur-based, and and us who have eumelanin. The difference is they have a better ammonia release system, so they can discharge the ammonia a lot quicker than we can. So it gets poisonous for us, but it doesn't matter for them.
Package, every package. So we already are eating feces. On top of, before we get into the chemicals, the fructose, the chemicals and the GMO, we're eating feces. It's like, I just gotta ram that through. And some people are like, well, brother, you eating on your Saturday wearing shit. Like, dude, you're eating shit. You just had some shit last, yesterday. Be offended at the people that are okaying shit to go in your food as opposed to the guy in the front of the room that's saying shit to going in your ear. The shit going in your ear is not going to kill you. It's the FDA that's approved it to go in your meat, your peanut butter, your bread, your dairy products, because they cannot stop the rats and the mice from getting into these warehouses at night. Think about that. If you can't stop rats from coming into your little refrigerator and you ain't got but $80 worth of groceries in there, think about a warehouse, a vat. These vats hold 1,000 tons of chopped meat. They can't stop them rats from getting in there. As soon as they turn that light off, rats come out by the thousands. And they go right in the vats, and they be in the vat chilling, eating, having sex, having babies, doodling, peeing right in there. And they don't even stop the parties when the lights come on. Then they scurry. Now what you think happens when white folks come in there and see rat droppings and rat hair and all that in 1,000 tons of meat? They getting ready to say, you know what? Stop production. Find every hair of rats in there and clean that stuff out. We can't sell this stuff to these folks. Hell no. Everything's a go. Squish it up more. Put a little bleach in there, mix it up. In fact, all of the meat is cleaned with ammonia. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. White folks off the chain. The meat is causing ammonia to be created faster than my body can get rid of it. And you're going to clean the meat with ammonia. So now I got to scratch my head and say, well, damn. Won't that kill white folks too? Nope. They have an ammonia transport chain so they can get rid of the ammonia. You're going to be on dialysis machines and prop up the dialysis business.
Now, fuck, in Hawaii, everybody, all the melanated and the native indigenous descendants, like our grandparents, my mother, since I'm older, not really my mother, but a lot of my friends' mothers, they all have to go to the dialysis, and they don't understand why. Like, you cannot tell them that the government's lied to them and that they shouldn't eat this stuff that is causing their organs to fail, and that's why they gotta go to this dialysis every. It's so sad. And then, like, if we get into a problem where a tsunami comes and there's a devastation of how these people are going to get their dialysis, they're going to be the first people to die. So this is not affecting just you, it's affecting a lot of people. A lot of people will be shook because of our uneducated selves. We're not taught any of this. And so the consequences of not learning this is death. And I just want to emphasize that this is just as important as healing your soul, because the Creator said to eat these things, these herbs and these fruits and vegetables, to heal you, to have an optimum body. And we're wilding out. So if you do eat these things, then you're gonna reach levels health-wise. It's gonna open up possibilities for you mentally, physically, and it's going to help you get in touch with your spiritual side. So it's not something different. It's not, oh, that's spiritual and this is food and health. No, food and health is spiritual. And once you realize that, and it's not just a fucking game or some feel-good shit, it's spiritual. You gotta eat like it's spiritual. Then you'll understand, you'll feel better, and you change your life, and you change your way of thinking. Because that's why a lot of people think crazy, wild out, act a fool, make bad choices. It's not because they're dumb or because they don't have enough life experiences. A lot of times it's the food they eating. They don't even know they're making these decisions. They know it, but they're not in control. It's the food.
So, nitrogen. We're going to put nitrogen over here. So I want to show y'all something real quick with this stuff. Put oxygen up here. What am I missing? Hydrogen. Well, nitrogen, actually, carbon's in the wrong spot. I want these to be in order so you can see how simple this is. Alright, so hydrogen, carbon. See, this is why they made them little symbols with just one letter all this down, right? Alright, nitrogen. Alright, now, these are the basic families. Alright. These are the basic families, and there's something I'll get to about the families that has a big thing to do with nitrogen as well as some other poisons we're dealing with. But these are the four basic things that we need in life. So this is how they build up. Your oxygen is what? Your breath. Right. So you can't last for what? Minutes or seconds without that. That's right. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, right, is we're going to add hydrogen into the mix. Once we add hydrogen to oxygen, now we got bases. So now we got something to drink. We're not thirsty. Alright? Because we were doing all that breathing. We got a little thirsty. Now we got something. Now, we're going to add, so now we went from oxygen to hydrogen and oxygen. Very simple. This is why we got to see the relevance in these energies. Alright? It's how they combine is what kicks our world. So now once we add carbon to this, what we got? Boom, we got something to eat. Carbohydrate. Very simple. These are your sugars, your fruits, right? Even your vegetables. The only difference between your vegetables and your fruits is that fruits you can dig right into the nutritious part for the most of them.
All right, so I want you guys to get this, okay? So very simple. You have oxygen. Right? That's your breath. You add the oxygen to the hydrogen, then you get H2O, which is your water. Alright? Very simple. Next one, you add carbs. You get carbohydrates, food. Very simple.
Vegetables have all the nutrition locked up behind cellulose. All right, and cellulose is waste. It's waste. You do not need cellulose. All right, but again, lovely white folks will tell you that you need cellulose.
Yeah, they keep telling you need cellulose. Every day you run out your house and go and get you fiber, not knowing you're eating poison.
Okay, they've been telling you that forever. Right, you're just not familiar with them saying cell.
If you have like backed up bowels or whatever, like you eat cruddy food, and maybe you might need something abrasive to push it out, but it's not healthy for you.
Cellulose, you're familiar with the word fiber, right? But only people that's constipated need fiber. See? So that's the whole hustle with that. When you load up with meat, starch, and you don't drink any water, you need something that's very abrasive to come through and try to push that stuff out of you. But what's coming on the tail end of this fiber craze that we've been on the last 40 years? People's colons are going prolapse like never before.
So we have disease.
All kinds of digestive colon, Crohn's, all this stuff, big time, because of so much fiber. You don't need fiber, it's a waste product. You're never supposed to eat it. You're never supposed to eat it. If your body is filled with fruits, vegetables, and water, I promise you will never have a doodle problem. You will never have a doodle problem. Ever. Ever. So you don't need cellulose. Alright? So, carbohydrate. Right? So now we got, look at that. Y'all ain't been here for about, I ain't been speaking, doing this lecture for officially for about 15 minutes. And y'all already know the basics of life right here. Whoop. Y'all been in medical school for like 2 years before you got this. This might be the complete course in medical school. Alright, so now we got some food, right? We got some drinks, we got some water, we got some air, we got some food now. Now the next thing, see? This is all you have to do. Very simple. So this is how you get the understanding of how your body works. Your liver does this all the time. Your liver takes sugars, adds nitrogen to them from the air, and creates this guy. Protein, all right? But not directly, which is where a source of misinformation comes in. Because your body doesn't need this directly. What your body needs is this. The precursor to that. Correct. Amino acids. All right? Amino acids. So, and this is it. All this is now is this. C-H-O-N. All right? All you did was start with oxygen. You added hydrogen to your oxygen and you got water. You added carbon to your hydrogen and oxygen, you got carbohydrates. You added nitrogen to your carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, now you got proteins. Very simple. So you can get nitrogen from anywhere and your body's going to create the proteins you need. This is very simple. And we're breathing it in all the time. That's why I tell you the atmosphere is 80% nitrogen. All right? So these are some of the things that we really need to understand so that we can get through some of this muck and mire, because people are just playing off our ignorance.
So our body is actually based.
Of course. Your DNA, in fact, we got this top oxygen thing, right? Hopefully. Here we go. Ain't even waiting for y'all. That's why we got cameras rolling. 3 cameras rolling. DNA. What's this? What is this?
Nucleic acid.
Cool. Let's scratch off the confusing part. And what's this last one? Acid. So now, what's up with everybody saying all acid is bad and all alkaline is good? If I get rid of all acid, where's my DNA?
Here's the contradictory between him and Dr. Sebi. But don't let contradictory ruin your chance of learning something. He has a lot of perspectives that you don't get when you listen to Dr. Sebi. He goes in depth into a lot of different things, not just food, a lot of different things. So you want to be open-minded. You want to take the differences and you make your own opinion about it based on your own research. You try and research it. You come to a conclusion on who you believe is right or what you believe is right. But a lot of this information is potent, and nobody's gonna give you this information.
Gone. Misinformation. Grand opening, grand close. We gotta study more.
And then the ionizers too. The ionizers are scary because some of them are making people sick. Like
because we're missing nature. Like we're doing too much. Like that's what people say. That's in the hood now. That's hood 101. You're doing too much. As a group, we're doing too much. Too much of everything. Like Mother Nature never used machines to make good water. So we already lost. Once we think to get good water, we got to go out of the machine. Mother Nature did not hook up Kangen machines to the river. Like there's no Kangen machines on the river. Life didn't start in the Kangen machine. So you don't need to spend $5 a house note. Niggas looking crazy. You walking around back and forth, house look crazy, you got Kangen machine. Like, my nigga, what you doing with that? Oh, and I'm paying it off because I'm going to sell these water. Who told you? Are we even doing research on it? They don't even use those anymore in Japan. The guy who started the whole research, he came out with a public apology. In Japan, though. See? That's what we following after people. That's not us. See? People in Japan got it from Mona Harrison. She died mysteriously, right? After she came out with the water information. Then, after Mona Harrison disappears, all of a sudden, Masaru Emoto pops up.
That's right.
And he's sharp as hell with water now. Stop. He got all that information from Mona Harrison. Because even in his books, he still ain't as deep as she was before she died 5 years, 10 years ago.
That's right.
So he still ain't where she was at. So all of a sudden they pop with this technology and they didn't even understand that their technology. That's how you can tell when somebody's stealing. So when somebody steals, they know the function of the thing, but they don't know the why.
That's right.
So they can tell you, oh yeah, the Kangen water, and when you do this with the water, and and the pH, and the high this and that, boom, boom. But they missing it right in the common sense because they're not doing this. See, if we do the science part, everything else they can't pull a wool over our eyes because we know immediately what's pH. See, that's the whole selling point of the machine. It's going pH. The pH going up, you get high pH. Nobody says what's pH. We're just like, oh, so how much is the machine? No, it's real good. It's going to help me out with the arthritis and everything. So how much is the machine? We didn't even do no research yet. What is pH? Potential hydrogen. See? So we know that. Hood 101, what we going to do? Cut the middleman out. Like, dude, that's giving me health benefits because of the potential hydrogen. Why not we cut that game and just get straight hydrogen? Let's cut the cat and get the straight Tony Montana. We want the raw. Give me that hydrogen. I don't need to water down. No, just give me that good stuff. So that's what primarily is a large part of Mama Atomics. Heavy hydrogen. There's other isotopes of hydrogen. The normal stuff that's in the tap water is not. We'll get there. But, so the DNA, the acid part, we'll get there. I'm going to come around to the water part a little bit. But the DNA, important for protein because that's what DNA's job is. So when we try to take proteins in directly, we actually subvert our DNA's job. Your DNA's job is to have the informational blueprint for your body to build its own proteins. Everybody's in here. Your body needs unique proteins. Every part of your body that moves, that has a function, is proteins that's in there, the machines. Those are the little guys, those are the doers in your cellular matrix. Everything that's doing something is a protein. Everything. Even the enzymes, those are all proteins. So your DNA has to synthesize the specific proteins for you. A lot of us are walking around in the vegetarian community with dead proteins floating around in their bodies. Dead proteins, because we either aren't getting any protein in, or we're not getting enough in, and we're not exercising to take to the next level. So we get rid of our DNA's job. Our DNA holds the information. DNA has a partner. Sends that information to this guy. RNA. Your RNA then assembles the amino acids into the peptides or proteins that you need. The only difference between a peptide and a protein is how long the chain of amino acids are. So don't get caught up in that either. Okay, that's floating around now. No, we don't need amino acids, we need peptides. Still stop. Read a little bit longer and you'll see peptide and amino acids, proteins, is just a difference in how long the chain of amino acids is. That's all now. Alright? So your RNA takes the amino acids and creates the proteins your body needs. There's no animal on this planet that can eat protein of another animal and get any benefit from it. Period. Even a pig. If a pig eats turkey leg.
That's why I keep trying to emphasize, no matter how much dead animal you eat, you're not getting the protein. Fucking your body just stores it as fat or waste, and it piles up in you and you have like 30 pounds of dead waste, or you just get overweight. you're definitely gonna be sluggish. I guarantee you get diseases.
Eggs, it's no use outside of filling his stomach. Okay, it's not a nutritional value to it. All right, so just the basics on some of that stuff. All right. Now, these are, and this is not all of the elements. This is just 1 through 20, but this is just giving you an understanding, all right, of the energy levels that the elements represent. So again, it's kind of reiterating what I already stated about atoms' importance or their functionality being based on the electron. The only thing you can see here, though, is the difference between the orbitals in the electron where they take. And what do I mean by that? The orbital is like the little robe around the nucleus. This point in the middle, this is called the nucleus in every atom, for those of you that aren't aware. This is the nucleus, for what I'm saying. The nucleus is the center. That's the brain. That's where the thinking is happening inside the atom. That's the transformation point, right? Everything outside of that, these little dots, are all electrons. And each little road right here, it's like Highway 10 northbound, this is southbound. Like each one of these roads has a specific amount of traffic that it can handle, all right? So it's important to understand that. The very most inner valence, inner orbital, can only hold 2 electrons. And you move so on and so forth outside. So that electron density or charge density is what determines the behavior of these guys individually and together. And we'll get into that. All right? So this here just talks about, again, I just wanted to show you. I want you guys to be familiar with this.
It's like crystals.
We have to become a little bit more familiar with this. I want you to see the...
Hey, Drop Nation. Drop Radio, Drop King. Look at the drop. Good Lord, look at that. Looks like crystals, baby. Get close up. Get the babies out of the bathwater, as my brother says. Get the babies out of the bathwater. The babies out of the bathwater. This looks like crystals. Oh, snap.
Positioning on the chart determines what you're looking at. So when you look here in the middle, these are transition metals. These transition metals are the most important things to your health. So we have to look at it that way. Not only are these the most important things to your health, but they're the most important things to your pocket. Okay, because that's a big trick that I found out. We look real crazy dying mineral deficient when most of the things that we need we wear.
Gold and silver, baby.
Go back and pull it out. After this lecture, go home and find, I'm going to get you, sucker. We look like that now, I'm telling you. Because we need the gold in our body. That is a required mineral. We need the silver in our body. That's a required mineral. You need platinum in your body. That's a required mineral.
Yes, sir.
Even if you take open your cell phone, the lithium that's in your battery, that's a required mineral. Lithium. That's one of the most electrically active minerals and nutrients you can get. So we're trying to activate light bodies with foolish, we're looking at the thing and we, no, we're all in debt. No lithium in the body, no phosphorus. What you like now? Like a light bulb with no filament. What you doing? You stand there, turn the on switch all you want, no filament, no light. Right? So we gotta get these basics down pat. All right? This is where your filaments are. This is where the things that we need that we're missing. All right? So this talks about how energy moves. So I want y'all to remember that spiral pattern. That's gonna pop up. All right? These are your orbitals. All right? These are your orbitals. All right? And the most important thing to remember now, obviously, to be in the video, and if this gets, part of this will be in the book of Numbers too. So this will be in the video, in the book. Take your time and go a little bit deeper with it, but this just shows that as you get more orbitals, the energy of that atom increases. And as the energy of that atom increases, the ability of that atom to produce light and electricity increases. So that's all we need to know right now. Right? So don't get scared. Trust me, I'll try to say something funny in the next 3 minutes. It'll happen. It'll be natural. All right? Valence. In general, the number of valence electrons, which are the outermost electrons, all All right? The guys that are on the outside, the outermost pathway here. All right? This is the valence electrons. These are the ones that bond one element to another. So when elements come together to form a molecule or a compound, like for instance, oxygen and nitrogen, nitrous oxide, it's the electrons that bind together that will bring these together. All right, so these electrons will form a bond together, and now these two atoms will come together, and now you got nitrous oxide. All right, so it's the electrons that do that. Same thing like people, right? What bonds people together? Emotions. Your emotions are how you control the electricity in your body. The more emotional you get, the higher the electric state of your body. All right? The exact same behavior that we see in the atom kingdom or in the periodic chart is what we're going to see in people. So if you understand this, you'll understand you. All right? Trust me. After a while, you might be more comfortable with these guys than people too. All right? So it's just showing. As your electron moves from an inner valence to an outer valence or backwards, you're going to have energy being released. All right? You have energy being released. That energy is going to be in the form of light sometimes. Sometimes it'll be ultraviolet. Sometimes it'll be X-ray, gamma ray. All right? This is why black folks produce heat scientifically. Okay? Our bodies have a lot more electricity. We're giving off radiation. If we had black folks in this room 100% healthy, Europeans couldn't come in here because the radiation would be so high. Right? It's science. So if you understand this, you'll understand you. Sometimes it'll be X-ray, gamma ray. All right? This is why black folks produce heat scientifically. Okay? Our bodies have a lot more scientifically. Okay? Our bodies have a lot more electricity. We're giving off radiation. If we had being released, that energy is going to be in the form of light sometimes. Sometimes it'll be ultraviolet. Sometimes it'll be X-ray, gamma ray. All right? This is why black folks produce heat being released. That energy is going to be in the form of light sometimes. Sometimes it'll be ultraviolet. Sometimes it'll be X-ray, gamma ray.